Well, this is my video for KYB and AutoAnything.com. The reason I'm having this video is I bought these KYB shocks off AutoAnything with a plan of putting them on my truck when I got new tires and doing a one-time alignment. These are for a Tundra, and the shocks on it that were on it are these just Monroe shocks that I'd put on one time before, and I kind of forgotten what I put on there, real honestly. And went on AutoAnything looking for something, and these things were highly rated. They were all 4 and 5 star, and 82% of them 5 star, and that's my real beef with AutoAnything. But wanted to take a look at these two shocks and kind of compare and contrast. Now this is for a full-size truck. Now, as you can see, first of all, well, there's I have to excuse my messy workbench here, but there's a tremendous amount of difference between these two shocks as far as the size of the rods in there, which when you're talking about a full-size truck, that's a pretty sizable difference. The other thing I look at is these are continually welded, and like I say, you got a lot larger shaft on that rod, I guess. And then when you look on the other end of it, you've got this heavy bushing. Now these probably have 80,000 miles on them, maybe more, but you can see they're continually welded all the way around, and they got some good wear out of them. The same with the end of the tube. Nice heavy rod on there on the bottom. Now these are the KYBs that I never put on. Much smaller shaft. A little different design. Recessed. Now it did have a little bit longer tube on there, but it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot. It's actually lighter than the other shock. This is the part that really bothered me. Not as heavy built on the end, I felt. Definitely not as much size in the rod again, and then here on the eye, where it actually attaches to the truck, looks like we've been teaching some Chinese kids how to tack weld. Not fully welded, just tacked in a couple places. Pretty, there you go, get a pretty good picture of that. Pretty, like I say, some 12-year-old learned how to tack weld on these. That's awesome. Not so awesome when you're going down the highway at 80 miles an hour with these as part of your suspension kit. Not really impressive. Now these are the front struts, and they don't have the actual shock or the springs on them. I wish they would have, but I mean, this is where all your weight on that suspension is on the front. This is holding the 300 horsepower plus V8, and all the other fun stuff under the front end of the truck. So that's a lot of weight to be putting on the suspension there. You can see some, they're better than the tack welding, but once again here, that's a real hell of an effort. I mean, these things, I mean, very frustrated. First of all, with KYB, and supposedly they're a aftermarket, off-road, whatever. I wouldn't put this damn thing on a Kia or a Prius, much less a damn truck. But you know, I kind of care about myself and my family. And the sad part is these were actually more expensive than the Monroes that they ended up buying. I unpackaged these. I bought them, and just to understand, first of all, I want to review them because they're garbage. Second of all, I want to put them out there for AutoAnything because their reviews are, there's no way that people that do this for either a living or hobbyists that do their own maintenance and stuff would look at that and go, yeah, that's a hell of a strut, man. I want that on my truck. 5-star rating. No, sorry. I unboxed these. A buddy of mine who's a mechanic, and the guy who's lift I was using is got a master's in mechanical engineering. They both looked at these in the same way I did and said, I wouldn't put that on my pickup. So back in the box they went. Unfortunately, I'm out of my return window with Auto Anything, and they've been anything but helpful. Um, which I understand, 30-day return windows, that's not my beef with them. My beef is the fact that their chat representative actually give these high recommendations, and I've got a screenshot of the reviews. So they're clearly either fraudulent reviews or they're strictly weeding out. But like I say, I have a hard time believing anybody that does their own maintenance or is a mechanic looks at these two struts and says, you know what? I would really like to have this cheap piece of shit on my truck or someone else I liked truck or car. I know some people may say, well, yeah, uh, you don't need as much rod there because you got a shorter distance between the actual cylinder and the eyelet that attaches to the truck. I'll buy that to a degree, but not to this degree. I mean, you're literally looking at half the distance or circumference